Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Sam Darnold today and his dominance with the Minnesota Vikings. Now, not only is this a feel-good story, but this is going to be a controversy, a quarterback controversy in the months to come, okay? Now, the topic of today's video is that the Vikings are 3-0. Now, should the Vikings consider, again, keywords, consider, okay, putting Sam Darnold as their franchise quarterback over JJ McCarthy, okay?
Stop it. Get some help.
What? I have a lot to say about this. Please know I am not hating on nobody, but I want to share my opinion because I think I have something that could really help out the Minnesota Vikings in the long while, okay? Now, before I get into all the different scenarios, salute to Sam Darnold. Look, Andy Dalton ain't the only red rifle in the league anymore. This guy is balling, okay? He's leading the NFL in passes thrown, 8 touchdowns in his first 3 games together. That is fantastic. 7 touchdowns in the last 2 games, if you look at that, and a total of 2 interceptions. His longest pass was 97 yards. 97 yards. That is fantastic. Now, shout out to Jalen Naylor, fan of the show, friend of the show. I've had him. I actually did his pre-draft interview on this exact channel. So it's so exciting to see guys like this blossom, especially when other receivers get injured, that they're able to take and step up. Now, I want to share a story before we get into some Minnesota Vikings football. Okay. Now we're about to get a little wild. That's why I brought my wild hat. Okay. Now, in 1999, and this is an article from BuffaloRumblings.com, okay? It says 20 years later, Doug Flutie, Rob Johnson, quarterback controversy still stings Buffalo fans, okay? I'm not a Buffalo fan, actually lifelong Miami fan, actually, but Doug Flutie, for those who don't remember, if you're a younger guy, look, get your popcorn ready, watch some Doug Flutie highlights. The guy was amazing, okay? He had took and got his team 15 wins while Rob Johnson was out, and takes them all the way to the playoffs. And what takes and happens, I believe it was the AFC Championship or the divisional. And then Rob Johnson, who again was not, he's supposed to be a starter, but he was injured. So Doug Flutie came in and balled out. Okay. And what happens? Rob Johnson played a decent game. Okay. However, he ended up losing that game for his team, the Buffalo Bills, and they're still winless. Okay. Now, I bring up that story because I would hate if this takes and happens to Minnesota Vikings fans, where it's a situation where Sam Darnold wins you all of these games. Finally, we're seeing that Sam Darnold when he took and he played at USC, and he was just a freaking touchdown machine. I would hate for them to get all the way even deep into the playoffs. All right. JJ McCarthy's feeling better. Let's get him in there. No. That would be such a terrible idea. No. You keep in the hot hand always. Let him heal up. Okay. Now, JJ McCarthy, I'm not gonna lie, was not crazy about his pro day. His stats on the field. Look, he did a lot of the little things right, but when it came his pro day, I was disgusted. Then I became amazed when he balled out in the preseason. Take it for what it's worth. It's preseason, but he did amazing. Then he's out for pretty much the year. It's looking like Sam Darnold. I believe we're seeing the real Sam Darnold. I truly do. This guy is playing with no hesitation, quick to pull the trigger. The Jets wrote him off. Carolina Panthers wrote him off. Pretty much just about every team in the NFL wrote him off. And for him to take and come in here and ball out the way that he has, I am so happy. And I think there's a scenario that can work for everybody. Now, I would like to use Geno Smith of the Geno Smith of the Seattle Seahawks, excuse me. And Geno Smith he's one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL. You know, this is a guy who got drafted by the Jets. He had I think it was an 8 or 9 touchdown game when he played for West Virginia. In college football, he was on the map. Gets drafted by the Jets, and, it just didn't work out. He gets his jaw broken, loses the respect to the locker room, massive amounts of mediocre play. And again, similar to Sam Darnold now, he balls out when he goes to Seattle, ends up earning don't quote me on the number, it was like a 3-year $90 million or 3-year $100 million contract. That's amazing. Some people just need time to develop, and I think that's the case for Sam Darnold, because you all know what it is. The worst team is on draft you, you're not going to be drafted to a good situation. And oftentimes the team got themselves in that situation because they didn't want to draft O-linemen in the first place. So for a long time, the Jets O-line sucked. It literally until probably 2024, the O-line started getting a lot more better, But however, this is what I think that should take and happen. I think Sam Darnold, if keywords if, okay, because y'all call me on the comment section, you said this, I'm gonna say if he takes y'all to the playoffs and balls out throughout the year, and I would say even go as far as to win y'all at least one game in the playoffs. Okay, I think he earns a nice 2 to 3 year contract and keep him as a starter. And you let JJ McCarthy earn, don't just give him the starting position. You let him earn that role. I think he needs a Geno Smith type contract. I do. I totally do. And then if he's still balling by the time it's ready to, by the time he's at the end of his contract, then hey, you got a franchise quarterback and you got him for a heck of a deal, not bottom dollar. You got him for an amazing amount of money, and then you could build wealth with that. I mean, you guys already have Brian Flores. He has the defensive side of the ball covered. One of the best defensive coordinators in all of college football. Still upset Miami took and let that guy go, But and then on the offensive side of the ball, y'all have so much depth at the wide receiver from Justin Jefferson to Jalen Naylor. I mean, I'm missing a lot of names here, but the list goes on and on. This team, this Minnesota Viking team, knows what the heck they're doing, and they know that they want to win a championship. But also, you got to be fiscally responsible. Money, But anyway, that is what I think should happen. I know some people are saying like, man, and I go through a Twitter feed and I'm seeing some Vikings fans out there saying like, no, we got our franchise guy. And you just might, but I think it's still too early to take and pull the trigger on that. Again, you don't want a Doug Flutie, Rob Johnson type situation. You do not want that. 1999 season for the Buffalo Bills, you do not want that. I think you go the Geno Smith route. And now JJ McCarthy wowed me in the preseason. He wowed me, but then he did not wow me. And guys, look at his pro day. He was overthrowing wide open people. And it didn't take a lot to impress. Wow, look him throw a 25-yard pass. Wow. Yeah, he's accurate and he makes really good decisions. He's a great game manager, and that's not a dig on him. You can win a Super Bowl with a game manager. Depending on who you talk about, some people will say Brady's a game manager. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. But anyway, that is my thoughts on the situation. Now, here's the thing. If Sam Darnold starts to suck, then yeah, you hope and pray for the day JJ comes back. But I mean, y'all beat the Houston Texans. Okay. Houston Texans, again, they have a quarterback who can play. Dare I compare him to Marino? Dare I? It's a little too early for all that. We'll see what things look like 10 to 15 years right now from Mr. CJ Stroud. But I do want to take and mention that, y'all be a team that can potentially compete for the Super Bowl. Punched them in the mouth, dominated on all sides of the ball. Running game was amazing. Passing game was amazing. Receivers came to play. There's a lot of great things happening in Minnesota that the NFL is just not acknowledging. There's a lot of great things happening in Minnesota that the NFL, it's going to shock the world. And we're going to see a power shift this year. You had teams like the Miami Dolphins. They were the it team people were talking about. No, I think we need to be looking at the Minnesota Vikings. We need to be looking at them, man, because they are amazing. And these are good problems to have. If you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, these are great problems to have. 2 quarterbacks, okay? But what happens when the contract runs out for Sam Darnold and other NFL teams are like, they're hoping they could get their next Baker Mayfield, and it's a Baker Mayfield type situation because a Geno Smith situation could go to a Baker Mayfield type situation. We're like, wow, okay, it's your 5th year in the NFL or 6th year in the NFL. Let's give this guy a bigger contract. Let's go all in, okay? And confidence is crazy. Minnesota Viking fans love Sam Darnold, but when you have JJ McCarthy, there's a whole lot of what ifs. Me personally, and please don't come after me. Me personally, I'm not super high on JJ McCarthy yet, but my mind can, and I hope I eat crow for that. My mind can totally be swayed. It's just when he comes back from injury, I got to see it. Now, another scenario that I'd like to bring up, how great would it be if they say, hey, we're going to sign, and forgive me, I don't have all the specifics of Sam Darnold's contract, but I said they have him for another year or whatever the situation is. I say, let him duke it out in camp. Let him duke it out in camp and may the best man win. So what situation would you like? Geno Smith and give JJ McCarthy that much more time to learn the game? But you guys comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this QB controversy. And again, Vikings are 3-0. Should the Vikings consider putting Sam Darnold as a franchise quarterback over JJ McCarthy? Or should he just be a bridge quarterback? Choice is yours. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Also, check out some of my interviews. I've had Levi Drake Rodriguez on this show, did his pre-draft interview. We already talked about Jalen Naylor, Brian Asamoah. Guys, the list keeps growing. Now, I will say I do cover the whole entire NFL. Huge fan of the Miami Dolphins. That's my squad, man. But hey, if I had a backup team, I'm going with Minnesota this year, man. Minnesota is doing big things, and I'm really excited for a fun team that you need to keep your eyes out for. We'll see you guys next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Check out some of my other work, and I'll see you guys next time. God bless. Thank you for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where we have exclusive NFL content and exclusive NFL interviews. Be sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. Follow us on social media. See you on the next one.